All right, I've got a client, longtime client. She has a big historical oak tree in her front yard. Her house was built in 1888, and the tree was planted when the house was brand new. But now the tree is old and full of defects. She loves the tree. The city has put it on its heritage tree list. It's the prominent tree that comes into the neighborhood. And I've got to make some evaluations on the tree to decide just how safe or actually how dangerous it is.
I'm looking at a coast live oak, Quercus agrifolia, and it's a significant tree. It's an old tree. The client has an image from, I believe, 1918 of this tree, and it's about the height of the house. This is an old house. And unfortunately, the tree has reached a point where it's got a lot of old wounds and old decay pockets and old tree problems. So my job today is to inspect this tree and help determine how much weight needs to be taken off to keep this tree reasonably safe, or at least safer. One of my big concerns is this limb right here, because it towers over the house. There's a fairly significant decay pocket up there, and there's a few big ones down low. I'm also concerned about the main crotch of this tree. It looks like there's a privet growing in there. I'm going to go check that out. One of the big difficulties in looking at a tree like this is the evaluation of how weak is it. You have to look at all the openings. You have to try to determine the extent of the decay, but you have to look at the structure as well. There's a fairly significant hole right here, and there's a weakness right in through here that's associated with a hell of a lot of weight. So let's go up and take a look in this hole right here. Okay, I'm looking in this cavity, and it's full of leaves. The big concern is it's also full of white rot fungus, and that's a real bad sign. It's going right up over the edge here. Now looking over here, the main crotch of the tree is also quite a catch for a lot of leaves, and I can see the privets growing over there. And looking up, there's a lot of weight, and there aren't any cables on this side, but there's a very interesting rod over here with some sort of a, I don't know if you call it a turnbuckle. It's like a double nut that pulls it back together. That's quite old. I'm assuming that's a through rod that was put in, I don't know, 50, 60 years ago. Now when you're looking at a big tree that has a big catch basin like this, whenever you see plant life growing into it, it's kind of interesting to pull it out and determine how deep the rooting is. And you can see all the water pouring out. So not only is this catch basin an area for leaves, it's full of water. So once these catch basins gets compromised and an opening develops, then the wow, look at this, got earthworms living in here. It's probably just incredible soil from all this rot that's down in here. But it goes in quite a bit. I need to get a probe, and I need to run the probe down there and see if it goes all the way through. It would probably be a good idea to clean all this out as well, so you can do a more thorough inspection. There's a little better shot of that threaded rod. You can see it's been in there so long that the tissue has actually grown up and around it. And it's on both sides. Alright, I've taken out about a garbage can of debris from down in here, and I'm running the handle of the rake down to the bottom. It is bottoming out at the same level all the way around. As you can see by the moisture, it's about 18 inches deeper. So this is a void that is holding water, and that's not good. And we've got this area over here, which I'm equally worried about, maybe more so, because it is directly associated with this decay pocket and all that white rot that's in there. And this is going down about 18 inches as well. If I hit the bottom and it went through, that would be a bigger problem. But until I get this really cleaned out of here, I cannot tell exactly if the bark has been compromised and the decay is working its way through. Until you find a little opening, it's really a difficult thing to say as to how bad it is.
Now, whenever you look at a tree that has so many decay pockets, you have to make the best educated guess that you can. But you have to look closely and look for all the potential problems. But at the end of the day, you've got to tell the client this is the best educated guess that you can give them, but there's no guarantees.